This is Tom Duty, middle aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty into Google search from my site. I'm going to be going through some tweets associated with my first Uber delivery. In that video, I called Uber a sleazy company, and that's my first impressions. They took a step out of sleaziness today in some things that I read, that they are actually being precise in their wording about how and how much you get paid. I'll say more about that in a minute. The first impression, sleaziness, had to come with some really bad press they've suffered over corporate culture and sexual harassment. And that doesn't necessarily play into the financial mechanisms of how they manage their drivers, bikers, and foot delivery people like me. Trying to share my screen. Your entire screen. Google Hangouts is sharing your screen. Okay. So what I'm doing is going to Twitter. And this is a do-over. My first attempt to do this video, I thought I was sharing my screen, though not with confidence. I wasn't confident I was sharing my screen. I suspected I was failing. And when the video uploaded, it had failed. I had not. So it was just my words. So I'm talking as if I'm like giving a presentation and saying, look at here, and as if I were pointing to a graphic that my listeners might be seeing. And I wasn't. It was only my voice. So right there. So there. Okay. So listeners, if I did this right, I understand that I did it wrong last time. I understand what I did wrong, and I think I'm doing it right this time. In other words, I think I am sharing my screen. I think I've corrected the oversight I had last time. So, I could just do it right here because these are the 6 photos. This one is a mistake. There are 5 photos. So let me just start here. Oh, this is cool. Okay. So this is my code. So listeners, if you decide to register for Uber and you enter my code, I can earn at least $100 according to things I've read. Now, there are certain promotions locally that it might be more than $100. This is my promise to you. If you do it, you hit the minimum 50 that earns me $100. I will confirm that. There's a lot of mystery in, do you make the money? And so obviously you earn me $100. In addition to that, you don't get nothing out of the deal. You get me telling you that you've earned $100. You've earned me $100, which allows you to know that other people you recruit is going to result in the same thing. Now, that doesn't seem like a big offering from me to you, but if you have experienced Uber to the extent I have, you have reason to believe that these way they promote these promotions, like recruiting new people, is kind of fuzzy, and like you might not get paid. So I'm telling you, if seeking the confirmation that this referral system always works, actually works, and you can confirm that someone gets $100, even though it's me, not you, you know that if you get other people, you will earn $100. So that's my offer to you. If you register, you put in my code. That should link to my account. I should be able to tell you that you're linked to my account. And then you hit 50. I should know you hit 50. And you don't have to be known. I only know you by code. So I don't know who you are. And this can all happen anonymously. When I get my $100, I will say on a video that I got $100, and you'll know. And I will say your code. So here's the next one. This is the address for the Hoboken Uber location. So you don't have to do all this online. You can do it in person, and that's where you'd go. It's near the Hoboken, New Jersey train terminal, which is also a bus terminal, which is also a light rail terminal. And I just hit back, and nothing's happening. I should be hit. Oh, no, it did happen. It was just a little delayed. I shouldn't have hit back. I should have hit the X. Okay, so that's my code. Bottom left, the bottom center is this Uber. So all of a sudden, boom, I get my first delivery assignment. I'm supposed to go to Louie's Barbecue Pit. Listeners, if you haven't done your first delivery yet, you get a screen that tells you that you have a delivery pickup, and all you get is the address. So you got to decide in like maybe 40 seconds if you're going to accept or you're going to let it pass. Only if you accept do you know what it is. Now, I did this in my neighborhood. I scanned the promoted restaurants before I started. I noticed that Louie's was heavily promoted, so when it popped up and it said the address, I kind of thought I was Louie's, and I was right. Even if I was wrong and it was like a restaurant next to Louie's, I still am familiar enough with my neighborhood that I knew how far away that was. I don't really care if it's Louie's or not Louie's, but I do need to know how far is it? And all you get is the address. I could, in that 40 seconds, because of my familiarity with my neighborhood and the reliability of the addresses, in my neighborhood, the address corresponds to the street number. In other words, 5217 is 52nd Street on Palisades. So it's very easy for me. If any listeners who know New York City know it's not that easy. So this upper left is the one I'll do last. This is the next one. This shows, this is Louie's right here. And I went, this is a Google map calculation of 4 minutes. I don't know how they're calculating that, but it was less than a mile. So I went from Louie's and I followed this gray line, not that it matters. And bam, that was an apartment line. A woman lives in a basement apartment, and it was hard to find the door. Turns out she had texted me while I was en route, and I didn't check my text. I will know better next time. So I ended up reaching her by phone. She directs me to this doorway. She came out when she realized I was there. She came out of the basement apartment. So in other words, here's a big apartment building, a 4-story apartment building. I go to the front door. No, it's like around the side entrance. It needed specific instructions to get there, and I did not have them as part of her profile. So I either had to get a text or a phone call, or she has to upgrade her profile. She had sent me a text. I missed it. I did call her, and she came out. So that's it. I do 8/10 of a mile, or I do 8/10 of a mile, and here's what I got paid. There it is, $2.79. Listeners, if you happen to hear this is a do-over for the one that I didn't share my screen. If you happen to listen to that one, I claim that I was supposed to get $20, and I only got $2.79. Well, I more closely looked at the promotion, and I misapplied the promotion. I think the promotion is vague on the details, but it started at 6 o'clock, and I was working after 6 o'clock. By my calculations, I should have been in that sweet spot, and I should have earned $20. But the full hour has to be in that 6 to 9 is how I am interpreting it now. So I'm going to watch this promotion closely because my neighborhood is very new to Uber Eats. So they're probably going to be running this promotion in a while that can earn me $20 instead of $2.79. So if I actually am correct, I interpret the promotion properly, and I get paid, that will be in my future YouTubes. So I just want to return to the sleaziness of Uber. My first impression is this company's sleazy like Amway, very vague in how you make money, and they put these promotions out there to try to attract you, and then you actually don't get that money. It's less like that than I thought. My first impression is based on the very well-known news reports about sexual harassment in the corporate culture that is systematic. Some top executives have separated from Uber. That was my first impression of the company. Then I come into these promotions that seem to be so vaguely worded. It's just going to be their tactique to wiggle out of money that they owe me. I'm still suspicious, though less suspicious after reading some things today. Time will tell. And my future videos will have you are sharing your screen and presenting to everyone. Stop screen sharing. And now it's back to me. This has been Tom Duty. So this was, again, in summary, I maybe a month ago, I did the application online. I waited for my background check to clear, which was like 11 days. I then went to Uber in Hoboken to get my insulated pack. They chinged me for $22, though I didn't have to pay anything. I'm just $22 in the hole at the start of my first delivery. Now I'm $22 minus $2.79 in the hole. So basically, I owe Uber for that bag, but I don't really owe them for the bag. I owe them for the deposit on the bag. Upon returning the insulated bag, I can get my $22 back. So that seems like a good deal. And listeners, please understand this. You don't have to talk to anyone at Uber. I did, but it's optional. I went in, I got this insulated pack. It is advisable, though optional. So if I had come up with a source for the insulated pack, there are many of them on eBay, or I just chose to risk the complaint of not having one and not get one, then it would have been okay. I didn't have to get one of these bags. So again, having one of these bags makes it less likely that you're going to get a complaint, because you can deliver cold food with a bag. You can deliver cold food without the bag. But if you deliver cold food in an insulated bag, you're less likely to get a complaint. That's by my theory. So I got the bag. I went to Uber in Hoboken to get it. Listeners, for me, it's easy, given the proximity to Hoboken and the transportation to Hoboken. For me, I don't have a car. So there's a train that goes right from my neighborhood to Hoboken. It's the easiest thing in the world. Sure, they're near the train station. Listeners, if it's not easy for you to get to a Uber place, you don't have to go. You never have to talk to someone in Uber from beginning to end, the beginning of the relationship with Uber to the end. You do not have to talk to someone at Uber, which is very cool. I'm going again tomorrow. That'll be in my video tomorrow. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. To find the correct spelling of the famous puppet, you then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, or restful night's sleep. Ciao!